that he's pro-ISIS, pro-Al-Qaeda, pro-any of that. There's no significant online presence that says this person is a jihadi-inspired terrorist, and as long as there isn't, we have to be careful about that.
Well, and Steve, let me ask you about that, too, because we're talking about the idea of this or any potential lone wolf attack and the idea of how to stop that. And one of the obvious things is to online. Are people leaving clues online? So Evan's saying apparently that this blog post that this guy might have put up didn't necessarily, it's not something you would necessarily look at and say, oh, okay, we could see this one coming. From an investigator standpoint, trying to preempt these things, what kinds of clues can you find realistically online for somebody like that?
Well, you have to take the totality of the information you gather from a forensic analysis of all his computers, cell phones. But what is important, I couldn't help but my eyes went up when Jim mentioned we got to think big, Steve. And what I believe he's saying is that your best evidence is going to come from someone who heard him say something. He could have talked to someone. There is a witness. He could have handed something to someone. So it's very important that the entire American public gets engaged in the war on terrorism. And as my good buddy here knows, you know, your best evidence comes from the mouth of a witness. So you're right, Evan. They could get this electronic data, but where's it going to point? To more electronic information? But get a witness, Steve. Get two people who heard something, who he said something to, and bingo, you've got your motive.
Yeah, and Jim, that's an interesting, I mean, the idea of